Hi, this is Matt at Brantley Guitars. Got a quick update on the neck for the Bourbon. I recently did a post showing the inlays that have been put in. These are gold mother of pearl diamonds. So these take quite a bit more effort than just drilling a hole and putting a dot in. So the individual cavities have to be carved to shape, and you want to get these carved as close as possible so that you can't see any gaps around them. The reason for the epoxy that's been piled up here, one, the epoxy holds the inlay in very well, especially when the cavity has been undercut, so it acts sort of like a wedge to keep it in there. But also the epoxy, when mixed with the dust from the fretboard, will fill in these details. Let me get up close so you can see the details on there where there's some cutouts on the inlay. The epoxy, the colored epoxy, will fill that in and make it look like those details have even been carved away. So this will all get cleaned up once the radius is put on the fretboard and everything's sanded smooth, and these inlays will really pop with the gold hardware that's going to be on the guitar. From the side view, you can see that this has a double depth heel, 1.5 inch thick heel with a very large transition there, as well as up here at the headstock you can see the grain on the headstock actually runs along the headstock. And you can see the scarf joint here that allows that to happen. And then once we get to the neck, the grain runs in this direction along the neck. This way we don't get any weak points from having very short grain running perpendicular to the neck through the headstock, which could snap off. And this joint, with this sandwich of these three pieces of wood, the neck, the headstock, and then the fingerboard, this is very strong. This joint, this glue joint, is actually stronger than the wood that it's made up of. So at this point, that's where we sit. You can see the access hole for the truss rod cavity. We have a dyed black headstock veneer that's been applied. So we'll drill the holes here, and the holes will be tapered coming in so that when the strings come off the fretboard and break over the nut, they should run straight into position on the tuners. And again, the wenge fretboard, let me see if I can get a good close-up on the wenge. I love this wood. It's got some deep, dark, you can see it over here away from the glare. It's sort of a chocolate and tan stripes, and it actually has these pores here that make it feel very slick, especially once this is all oiled up. This should be a very fast fretboard. The fret curves have been cut for a 24.625 scale fretboard. So once I get the fretboard radiused, then I'll be able to set the fret wire, and I think at that point this neck will be ready to go. So quickly take a look at the body. On the body, we've got the pickup cavities are complete, F-holes are complete, holes are drilled for electronics and the bridge. The Bigsby is going to sit back here in the open area. Got the front binding has been applied, and the route has been cut for the rear binding. So once that binding is applied, with a little sanding and touch up, this body will be ready for finish. So hopefully with some good spring or good fall weather here, be nice and dry, and I'll be able to shoot some lacquer and get this done. So quick update. If you have any questions, just let me know.